got a lot of different games here, and competitive pause just to make sure all the latency gets sorted out.
Yep. As I said, we did have some issues earlier with the server, so players wanted to make sure that everything's working okay and all that's good. But we are going to get underway pretty soon here, and looks like just a pause to kick things off. And as Jester said, just make sure everything kind of working as intended, which is good. As we said, it's been a long wait here, so thank you all for being so patient. We've certainly been so as well. And given the speed of that draft, I think the players are also really pretty frisky here. We're just wanting to get into games here. We're in Group A, remember, as well, if I recall correctly. I think we're in Group A for the day, although I could be wrong. I'm sure that will get checked nice and quickly so you guys can catch you up. According to the schedule that we're actually going through here, as we do double check. Nope, never mind. All the way in Group D, unfortunately. So we are going to have MiTH versus the Red here for this one.
Well, we have a lot of games over the next 2 days.
Yes. There's plenty of League of Legends coming up here at WCG.
Yeah, there's the main stage games, the D stage games. Those are going to be going on throughout the week as well. And then, of course, the LoL Plus channel, the dedicated League of Legends channel.
Yep.
And that's going to be quite a bit of circulation amongst the casters. I mean, me and you are going to be doing some.
Yep.
Then you and Papa Smithy as well. You got your co-host here from the dynamic duo of Australia. And then eventually me and him will get a crack at it. But all right. There we go. The Red up against MiTH Flashdive, Thailand, sorry. Up against Russia. Now, this is a round-robin group stage, so basically the winner here grabs 3 points to their name. Losers go home with 0, and by the end of tomorrow, we're going to tally up all the points, and that's how we're going to determine the quarterfinals for best of 3.
Yep, so top 2 from each group go through, and you play each other team once in a best of 1. So you don't have too much to give you. You kind of have to do as well as you can in each game against new opposition, but we'll see what can happen here. It looks like there is going to be a very nice check there from Jarvan13. Going to check that one up there with the barrier, but we are going to have an invade here moving through. A little bit of an interesting move there. Nice move there from Orianna. Quinn actually going in there. Jarvan going to take out as Renekton takes a ton of damage. It gets first blood instantly by Ori as that passive doing work here at level 1. Now Shyvana moving out as well. A great double bubble there as Jarvan also goes down there to Fiddlesticks. Now damage continuing to move in there as well. They're going to jump on a 30. Look for Nami. Flash does go over, but Quinn's going to chase in there as well. And the Russians looking very strong here.
Oh no.
Trying to find a third kill. There's another actually as they do find the third as Lucian gets that one. Now Boss in trouble looking for it. And that was very, very close to a level 1 ace there. 3 kills there for the Russians with a great invade.
Well, right off the bat, as you can see, Russians with that cash money advantage, they got the 3 kills, almost that ace. Really, it's only the bottom lane that actually survived that. Both Quinn and Nami, they're going to hoof it all the way back down to the bot lane, but they're the only ones that didn't take home any deaths. But on the flip side, Orianna, solo mid, with a kill. The support Fiddlesticks with a kill. And Lucian. This is going to be some tough laning phase. Yeah,
I mean, Lucian, at the best of times, is a very, very strong aggressive laner that can really control you. And Fiddlesticks as well, so good at pushing. And Fiddle's real disadvantage is that he needs experience. He needs levels to get into those skills and really get work done. But he's going to have a bit of extra experience here. And things are looking really nice here for the Russians to kick things off. As you predicted, though, Jester, is Quinn up towards the top lane. Orianna there in the mid. We've got Fiddlesticks and Lucian down the bottom with Shyvana in the jungle there. For Russia, and what's going on the very scattered Thailand side? Now that they've just lost a couple of kills.
Well, you see Renekton there up at the top, so he's going to be taking on Quinn. Unsure really how that's going to work out, especially with 2 assists to Quinn's name. And she didn't go home with that cash, but we'll see where that goes. But as you can see here, Jarvan, he's going to come up top for a quick visit. He is going to be their jungler, and it was going to be enough escapability here.
Yeah, it's actually going in there. Beautiful knock up there, moves through, and that's very, very tricky to get away there. Renekton, plenty of damage to come in, and 13 with some very, very nice presence there and towards the top. Kind of realizing that, hey, I need to be doing work right now. It's Orianna is in a lot of trouble there. Instead, the flash forward moves in there, but that's going to be a kill. Demo just dies, actually, as we get basically a double knockout moving in. Orianna and Zed both slay each other there in the mid. Very, very aggressive dive, but nice work there for both there. Zed really trying to punish early, and Flashdive, despite losing a lot early, they are really putting on the aggression here.
2-1-2 for that Orianna. She's going to come back with the double. Look at that double cloth armor into the double Doran's ring. That is going to be a heck of a time for Zed because he's only going to come back with that extra Doran shield and the blade combo. So it almost doesn't even feel fair already this early in the game.
Yeah, I mean, just the amount of gold that the Russians already have. You can see there's 1,000 gold difference already between these two teams. That's the kind of gold difference you expect when Dragon gets done, not a few minutes in after level 1. So
yeah, and a 3-minute Dragon is probably not in the cards for too many of these teams.
No, I don't think in this situation, but 13, very sneaky. They're going to move down towards the bottom. He's going to try and see if he can make a friend with the bottom lane.
Yeah, unfortunately, there is a ward there, so they are well aware that he is there. And we also got Elise now coming up through her side of the jungle. Jarvan realizing that this isn't going to work. He's going to head on back, but bottom lane advantage, it does tend a little bit more here towards Lucian. He does have the kill, has the assist, and You're making a funny face.
That face, I know you guys can't see it, but that was an incredible ward there for Fiddlesticks. He actually kind of saw Jarvan leave. I think expected him to try the lane gank, and then somehow vector warded up into the tribal share to spot him off. So Jarvan completely controlled by vision there, and that was a beautiful, beautiful move by Fiddle. But now trouble, mid lane could be bad. He's with the mode. Looks like Shyvana going to move through in there as well. Jarvan going to take a lot of damage here as the slow does move in. Forced to flash out there as Zed's out taking a ton of damage, but they'll both get out of the way for now. Really nice counterplay from Shyvana.
Unsure really if that was just a little bit too aggressive there from the Jarvan, or if Zed was just not on the same page, but there was very little follow-up there from Zed, and both of them just kind of backed away on the losing end of the trades. I mean, Elise was there with perfect timing as well, kept Orianna extremely healthy, and they just cannot really contest mid right now. Not at the current health pool of Zed. He's under half hit points. He doesn't have any potions, just that Doran shield. And at this point of the game, I mean, that is not going to be anything to keep him there if they do want to get aggressive.
Yeah, unfortunately for Jarvan, sorry, when he moved in for the gank, Zed had actually used all his summoners trading already in the mid lane, so kind of had to give that one up there. Didn't have a whole lot to offer that gank there for Jarvan. I think that's part of why it didn't quite maybe go as well as they wanted it to, as my voice wakes up.
Fair enough. So 4-2, a little bit over a grand between these guys. We are in Group D, as we said. It is Russia and Thailand just going head-to-head. And Quinn so far doing extremely well up against Renekton. I mean, Renekton does have the kill, but it is to the 2 assists of the Quinn. But mid, you know, somehow G4, they're still in the mid doing all right.
Into some trading back and forth. You kind of asked earlier who wins this matchup, and I think it's very much based on how they position themselves in the lane. I mean, in general against Renekton, as a ranged champion, you're going to have a good advantage, but Renekton's so good at diving on top of you and trading efficiently that way that if Quinn puts herself in the wrong spot, she's going to have a lot of trouble really getting Renekton out of this lane.
Man, Mode here is just having a heck of a time trying to avoid a lot of those shurikens, and then, of course, the splash damage that comes from the shadow. And she's actually now really, really low. It's almost exactly like the hit points just reversed there in the mid, and now it's going to be extremely hard for Elise to find an angle in there. But she's going to go check out that jungle as Jarvan just made a little bit of a pass up top, but there was that ward, and we got to accentuate good warding. It keeps lives up.
Very nice death mark though as Zed moves in. That's a lot of damage. Very clean kill. Moves all the way back to that shadow as well. As now Shyvana going to rotate around the middle here as well. Does hit the E there. Looking to maybe move on. The burnout will be popped here potentially, but does not have the ultimate to chase. And Zed is going to try and find a way to shadow out. He's got a few seconds left for that cooldown. Maybe going to make it over the wall. He needs to try and get it done. Takes a tower here though, unfortunately, and that gets him killed.
Yeah, just cooldowns were not his friend. Did not have that flash. Did have an ignite, but that wouldn't have helped him at all against Combic there. With that Shyvana. So they do eventually trade out 1-for-1, but it was no assist for the Orianna. So she's going to come back, already finished up her bracelet there. So she's going to come back with, again, more ability power, more armor. And stacking up armor against Zed is definitely a way to go.
Yeah, it's really good against a champion that scales basically exclusively off AD. Oh, sorry, actually exclusively off AD. So he'll return to lane now as well. Not too much going on there right now for mid laners. He's just kind of hanging out there. He's got a Vamp Scepter and a Longsword with two Dorans in there as well. The shield plus the Doran's Blade.
We do got level 6 here on Renekton, and he's going to have to probably use it. He's going to have to corkscrew out. There's the Dominus, but just flashes right across there from Combic. That's going to be tower shots on top of Shyvana, but it's going to be worth in the end 1-for-1 trade, but the assist is going to go the way of Shyvana as well, as Famco was able to take home that. Here comes 13, though.
Yeah, so once again, another trade here as Jarvan's looking for the kill now. Great knock up there. Does manage to get the damage done now, and Quinn is getting knocked up. No mana, no flash, no hope, it seems like here. Just one more auto, misses it actually, but then just walks in there and Q's straight in the face.
Yeah, now he knows that there's nobody there to counter pressure him, so he should be able to just farm that up, go on home. A lot of cash being traded at the 7-minute mark, 6-5, and we're still more or less about that grand up here for Team Russia, the red on the left-hand side. But bottom lane, Lucian and Fiddlesticks, they actually headed home, so they're going to have to deal with a little bit of tower damage from this pressure bottom.
Yeah, the BF sword that Lucian actually picked up will make things easier as he moves down now, so there's potential for them to now really start out trading here in the bottom lane, and Caitlyn will need to shop before she can really trade with Lucian at this point. Other than that, though, a little bit of tower damage down towards the bottom. Red going to go over the Jarvan now as well, and the blue's going to get donated as well. There
we go. No problem. Teemo's going to pick that up. Go right back into the mid. We do got Vamp Scepter on both Zed as well as Caitlyn at this point. And got another longsword on top of G64, our Zed player, on top of that. But as you said, I mean, the trading potential is going to get extremely hard for the bottom lane. As you can see, Caitlyn and Nami had already headed home as well. And mid, right now, mid is sitting at 58 creeps for Zed, 43 for the Orianna, despite the fact that she has more, she has the same amount of kills, but she has more assists to her name. But she just doesn't seem to be able to kind of go 1-for-1 with Zed right now.
I mean, Zed's just such a strong duelist in general, and Orianna not really known for her dueling capabilities, definitely more known for her utility and her team fight presence in particular. So, I mean, her early start was great, but a lot of the gold she spent money on here was actually on defensive items. So,
oh, that ambush. It almost was a good idea, PSK. Almost, but gets a shot for his trouble. Got vulnerability as well. Blue's not going to go away with Zed, and it could be a little bit of collapse on the bottom lane. Look at mid and jungle now coming down.
Yeah, an absolute mountain of people rotating down. It looks like the first dragon is going to maybe be attempted here as well. Fiddlesticks and Shyvana both fantastic when it comes to neutrals, and they're going to try and maybe set something up here. Crowstorm is available around the side as well. Kombic going to move through, and this is going to be a great Orianna-Shyvana combo. If they can land it, going to look for the counter gank here, back around the tower. Maybe nothing better over here, but the dive moves in. The flash spear coming in there, they're driving straight onto Caitlyn. They want that kill if they can get it. There's the diamond going on top as well, and the damage comes in thick and fast on Shyvana as the culling gets popped in there. Now Orianna over the side. Jarvan moves out of the way. They're ace in the hole. Does snipe Kombic off there as Boss manages to get that done. Demo does pick up the trade kill onto Jarvan as Zed's going to rotate down now as well. He'll look to maybe get a kill at Fiddlesticks. Very intelligently walking forward there, knowing he needs to fear. Zed does get the job done there. He's going to take a little bit of poke as he living shadows out of the way. A really nice attempt there for the Russians in terms of diving, but Jarvan just kind of dodged everything there. And unfortunately, Shyvana committed, and Orianna couldn't really afford to go in as well. Yeah,
the combo didn't really connect. We had Orianna throw down the command shockwave, did not get anything for it, but PSK looking to even up a little bit of this damage up top against Famco. And Famco with that dominance, he's sticking to her like paper to glue, and she just trying her darndest. Might actually be able to get out of this one with that movement speed increase from her ultimate. You can see PSK just trying to figure out where she's going to go. Had some creep help as well, but can she actually get this juke?
That was, I mean, Renekton right now is afraid here of that execute damage potentially from the Sky Strike there from Quinn. And it's just kiting back and forth and not a whole lot of mana left. Gonna have to try and find a way back to the tower. Does actually dart off towards the creep, but now Renekton gonna move in once again. The stun looking to come out. He dares another dash. The Ignite moves in as well. Vulnerable Queen could be in trouble as they are gonna move in. The tower hit comes in, and I have to say, incredible play there from Famco to try and dodge there, but just nowhere to run in the end.
Nowhere to run. Didn't even bother going through the jungle either, but she also used the Vault after, like, as soon as her Sky Strike was ready to go, she used the Vault. That was probably her undoing. Speaking of the undoing, G64 going against D-Mode. It's going to be his kill, but he's going to trade it out.
Again, once again, Zed very aggressively dives towards that turret. Orianna very intelligently using her shield to protect herself there and deny Zed that kill potentially, but Ori unfortunately had to walk back past the Living Shadow, and one well-placed Shuriken was able to get the kill though. But again, Zed a little too deep, will take too many tower hits and go down. So a lot of trades here. In fact, the kill score reflecting that very nicely here. 8-8 here, 16 kills in 11.5 minutes.
3,800 go to the 4,200 for our mid lanes. Looking at Quinn up at about 3 grand to a little bit less than that, I think, from our Renekton. But Renekton versus Quinn, it's largely going the way of Renekton, although he just really did have to wait out that Sky Strike, and it was a perfect execute from him at the end of it. And, I mean, 8-8. I mean, we started this game 3-0, and Flashdive has come back up to 8-8. Gold almost equalized as well.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking really tight here. They've just played so aggressively. Jarvan in particular has done a really, really good job of keeping tabs and ganking aggressively where he can. So that's been really helpful here for Thailand. I mean, just in terms of the Quinn-Renekton matchup, just a little more there. Quinn, I mean, the problem is when this happens, Renekton is able to dive straight on top of you. And Quinn, you're kind of mobile, but you're not really mobile enough to get away from all this. But Shyvana now maybe going to look to come in and get the gank done. Dragon's Descent will move in as well. Nice use of the W to reveal as well. And I think Renekton, the Dominus is popping the slow there, comes out from Vault. Now he's going to try and dive back on and get it done, but he's blinded. Could be in trouble. Actually doesn't quite get the kill, but gets very, very close. And a beautiful Shyvana gank there.
Again, it's just all about that Volt timing. She uses it, he goes in. Fortunately, they kind of predicted that, and the Shyvana came down. They're able to take home another crocodile slipper for the family. But because they do know that Elise was up top, that was kind of the cue. Go check out this dragon.
Yeah, Wonko going in there, very aggressive with the Crowstorm over the side there. Orianna as well, trying to get it done, but she's deathmark. That's going to be a very, very dead Orianna as Jarvan dives on the top there. Dragon still getting attempted here as well. They're trying to force the issue here on this one as Kombic moves in, tries to get the steal, doesn't quite get it done, forces the flash as the bubble moves in there. And now Spittle could be in trouble. Does fear away Boss here, but Jarvan going to chase in as well, looking for the combo. Slow there for Nami as she moves forward with the Tidecaller's Blessing just to get a little bit of extra slow. The Ace in the hole going to move in as well. Does hit, but not enough damage as Jarvan's still moving in. No mana, though, to do anything else there. Does get the kill for Nixar, though, as Balin goes down and Lucian just gets a little bit of damage there. So a bit of a trade there, but Dragon being picked up by Thailand gives him a lead.
G4 could be a little bit too far forward, but it does look like everyone's kind of a bit low on their mana. And I mean, it was a good attempt. They tried to block the damage there on top of Dimonko, but it looks like he didn't even go down at the end of it all. But we're still trading out. Here comes Famco, though, from the top.
He's baiting in there, actually moves in with that bird form and actually gets the execute there for Skystrike. Now Caitlyn getting chased down there as well. Quinn really wants to move in there. 525 range a little low here, but they are going to chase in the Volt. Absolutely massive, and gets the double kill.
So behind tower, get the Volt. Double kill comes out, 12-9. And now the red, I mean, they've regained a little bit of that gold, but they've left PSK to his own devices this top lane, and that's going to be a lot of tower damage and a lot of free farm going the way of the Croc.
Yeah, I mean, that's the issue with the Renekton. He's just so good at the mid-game as you get going now. As Kombic actually getting knocked off there trying to steal that blue as Java moves in. The slow from that Nami W. So Nami E just so annoying here as Oriana's going to move through. Now Lucian going to try and turn it around. They're going to try and trap 13 in there. The damage does come in there. Damonko over the top there with the fear actually. And there goes the kill before he can queue himself to the banner. Really nice coordination there from the red. Yeah,
the team really came together there to make sure that Kombic got out of that one alive. She did, in fact, steal out that blue with the smite, so Jarvan really, really wanted to land that kill so he could grab it back for the team. If you control both the blues, your mid laners are going to be really, really happy in that regard. But PSK is still just having the time of his life between these two different lanes, and he's up to 102 creeps. Now starting to really overshadow the Quinn.
Looks like we could have trouble here as well. Nami's actually moving forward, but Oriana just kiting Zed back and forth here. It's one of those things where Zed, I mean, any mid laner really has trouble against Oriana because of how strong her passive is here. If the mode plays it right here, you can just consistently harass her. And, you know, we've seen DT4 here just get aggressive. Once again, he will do it a great but the Deathmark's going to dodge it there. He's going to move out from the shadow, but takes a little bit too much damage. The Ignite's going to move in as well. Jukes the Razor Shuriken, Ignite ticking away. They both live, though, as Oriana with the Protect just comes through.
18 hit points. 18 hit points between a kill, but bottom lane is going to be the death of Caitlyn. She dropped to this aggression, and where was Valen at the time? You know, where was our Nami? She was off warding, it seems. And 2-on-1, especially with all the disabled, the 20 years of fear. Yeah. Yeah, Fiddlesticks took it home.
And now PSK once again here is Bomka could be in trouble. Shyvana once again looking for the gank here as the damage is going to come in now. 13 moves in for the counter gank there. Shyvana could be in trouble. Slow there from Golden Age just comes out. The turret in the bottom will move in. A dodge almost there out of the Cataclysm, but Quinn, still dead there as our Kombic's going to get dive on top as well. Renekton's going to take a tower. He does get enough help. Still goes down though as Jarvan's going to get the kill and just gets away there. Minion damage coming in.
The shield, that Golden Egg is 30 hit points. We are like skin of our teeth looking for a lot of these kills, but man, that turnaround from Shyvana taking home Crocodile skin, man, beautiful work there from Team Russia. The red, 15-11, they're still maintaining that gold lead. As you said, during all that, the bottom tower went down. You can see the rotation now come into the mid. They're looking to grab their second global gold. They did lose out on that Dragon a little bit earlier, and there we go. That will put 2 towers up to 0 and about 2 and a bit K.
And for all the kills in this game, the red are really on top of objectives. That first tower they got snowballing into the second one after all that chaos. I mean, yes, Myth got the first dragon, which is nice for them, but towers are so important when it comes to controlling space. And on this patch in particular, they give a nice chunk of global gold.
Oriana's starting to climb a bit farther ahead there of Zed in terms of the gold gain, about 600 between them, so it is widening ever so slowly, but top lane is basically still neck and neck. Renekton is coming out a little bit farther ahead simply because of that creep advantage that he has, but a little bit of footsies here in the mid, but we do not have any of those towers for Flashdive to fall back on.
Well, as you say that, Boss does manage to clean out the one in the bottom, so 2-1 now in turrets as the red are still ahead in that metric. Again, just a lot of movement around this map here. Dragon's going to be back up very soon as well. There's going to be a minute 40 left on that one, so that'll probably be the next contest here for either of these two teams. Top tower kind of low on both sides as well, so that's going to be a crucial objective for either team to try and take down.
Definitely the red has taken a lot of beating there from Renekton. And speaking of Renekton, he goes back up to top, but Famco with that Vault did time it out well that time. And he's going to keep her alive for now, but PSK just might go over the tower because we got Jarvan circling up.
Does a bit of damage there, just kind of comes in for some harass there, kind of baiting here, as you said, as the dive will come in. That 13, trying to find a great flash there, aimed the bird form as well. Just needs to move out there, needs to be out of combat with a bonus movement speed, but there it is, proc, and there is absolutely no way they can catch this Quinn.
Yeah, zoom. The rest of the team goes to cut off Zed as well, want to make sure that their bird does survive another day. But still, if we do have 13 up here with PSK, if they do plan to push this out, it could very well be the death of the tower and then the dive. I mean, they are Team Flashdive, so dive seems to be the name of the game today.
And Tommy going to move in there as well. Good blind, actually, going to prevent that tower from taking a little bit too much damage from auto attack. But it actually keeps it alive for one more wave here. Shyvana moves in for the burnout to clear that out here. Now pressure being applied in the middle as well by the Russians. Again, just really trying to make sure that, hey, even if you're going to take an objective, we want to pressure something for you.
Well, Zed just spent all of his cash, and there goes the tidal wave.
It does hit onto Zamunda, but Jarvan's going to move through as well. Wants to maybe try and get his Orianna as Lucian's going to move into the damage. But Combic in there actually dives in there with Dragon's Descent. Damage moving in there. Orianna, whiffs unfortunately there as Zed's going to move in there as well. The damage does happen there as the mode goes down. Zed picks it up there with the death mark. Now the damage coming through as well. Combic actually moving forward though, forced to burn out, and no one really wants to chase on low health as Renekton is going to come in and try and do some damage as well. He's going to take a little bit too much there as Lucian's going to come in the culling. Gets popped in there as well and just so much damage. Now Zed in trouble as he's almost going to get sniped off as well. And despite the low heroes, damage does come through as Caitlyn picks up 1 kill there. Bonko now in trouble as well, forced to get out of that one as Combic off towards the back, very low as well. But that's going to be a kill as Valen goes down. Quinn able to get just enough damage done, and everyone very low in that exchange. Couple of kills picked off either side, looks like 2 apiece.
A lot of red flashing health bars. There's a lot of people extremely hurt after that fight, but I do believe it was a 2 for 2 by the end of it all. Caitlyn coming out with a kill, Quinn as well, but the pickup from Renekton, I mean, he was really aggressive there, but using the Dominus, using the Sunfire Cape, just that AoE advantage, just make sure he sticks to his targets and his, corkscrews and stuns all day. That's exactly what he's doing. So 17-13, the gold lead again, still more or less about 2 grand for the red, and we do got our items back up. It was a Blade of the Ruined King picked up there for Zed. He did spend all the money before that fight. He already had that Brutalizer as well, but it's also heartening to see so many wards on so many of these characters.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is maybe the last patch, at least for now, where we get this many wards.
RIP Oracles.
And I mean, of course, these players will have a lot of experience on this patch, so absolutely know how to ward and take advantage of all the wards they can put out. Dragon back up now as well. Looks like Caitlyn going to take a lot of damage actually, but just a bit of a tap there back and forth. As Combic's going to dive in Renekton. Pops his ultimate there as Jarvan around the side's going to try and get it done. Now going to dive into the team fight. Shabbat takes a lot of damage there actually. Good ult there from Orianna. Pops for a little bit of harass. The culling now moving in as well as the damage is going to come in. And PSK is going to take a ton here as well. He's absolutely dead. It's a Fiddle Fear's going to probably spell the end as Bomko picks up the kill there. And just very nice presence there. The Red used a lot of their abilities almost randomly, but they just did a lot of poke damage, separated the enemy team. I mean, it wasn't the Wombo combo Orianna ult we're used to, but poked them off enough, was able to get Renekton out of the fight as well, and then a very clean Dragon.
Yeah, so Dragon to each side now, 2 towers to 1, but yeah, I mean, it was basically just a muscled MiTH flash dive back out of the fight. I mean, BSK was in there, he's like, yeah, let's go. Then all of a sudden, he's just 1-on-5, and then yeah, bad things ensued. He does have himself that Sunfire. He does have a Hex Drinker as well, so he's going for a little bit of damage, a little bit of that magic resist. Look at that Orianna. Look at that Elise. Fiddlesticks on top of things. I mean, that's a lot of AP to deal with for this team. But again, you also have the double AD in terms of the Quinn and the Lucian, so that's why, you know, Sunfire. But Sunfire is a very typical pickup for Renekton anyways. It just synergizes so well with the Dominus.
It does, and you mentioned double AD. I really like this pickup here from Quinn. Bomko's actually going for a Last Whisper as effectively the first item here. It's all armor penetration right now.
That's exactly it. So we might even see a Cleaver come out from here in a little bit, or a Yomu's Ghost Blade.
Yep, that's potentially true as well. Bilgewater cut this in for probably an eventual Blade of the Ruined King, but this is one of the nice things about double AD is where you can kind of have someone say, all right, you kill the tanks and I'll kill the squishies, and you kind of divide the items up that way. We actually used to see it a little more with double AP when that was more common, where someone would rush the death cap and someone would get utility here as the trade's going to come through. PSK now not having so much fun with this Quinn.
Yeah, he's died a few times. He's sitting at 4-6-2, 152 creeps, still maintaining that lead, but Quinn is getting kill after kill going here into the mid game at 22 minutes. And Lucian, he's not doing so shabby either. If you take a quick look at him, he already has that Bloodthirster and the Static Shiv. So at 22 minutes, he's pretty much on par for a nice fed ADC. And 317, 171 creeps. In fact, the only person he's losing to in creeps is Caitlyn. So no surprise there. The enemy marksman picking up all those creeps.
Yeah, looks like a push going to come through now as well. So we're going to try and get some work done here. Is Fonko once again going to fight PSK using the brush roll. Switches into bird form. Is going to try and cut Renekton back and forth. Reveals him off in there as well. Doesn't really fancy going back in here with Dominus ticking away. So Will back out there. But once again, Fonko, really creative use, clearly knows this champion. I mean, picked it pretty quickly.
It does not feel like an amateur at the wheel, that is for sure. I mean, Famco's using that escape ability, and then she even comes back in with the Sky Strikes when needed. Has picked up quite a few kills that way as well, but is able to escape a lot of these ganks and is able to stay alive and come back and grab the kills. It's definitely a mark of a pro.
And now Combic, oh, actually the bubble just missed time there.
They immediately disengage.
Yeah. The CC train stopped.
Combic was trying to get cut off there by PSK, but unfortunately he went the wrong way. And now, Combic ate the ace in the hole. Not who you really want to be throwing that ace at. Sitting right now for Shyvana is wow, I think I called her Elise earlier, but she also has her Sunfire as well as that Giant Spell, so it's not like you can really burst her down with that ace.
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned earlier, the Chinese clan has PSK going to take a lot of damage. Beautiful Flash Vault. That's going to pick up the kill there. The tower likely to fall in here as well, and Fomco really getting some work done here on top Quinn up against one of the most popular top laners right now, who's just completely dominated lanes. Renekton, I'm not going to say got horribly outplayed, but Quinn looks decent here up against this Renekton.
Mega Zero's currently rolling in his chair at the lack of the Renekton plays. I think it was a very famous quote for his, like, why is this even a champion? It's just so easy, 1-on-3 all day. But not today. Fomco taking home another kill in 7-4. It's a lot of penetration on that. Has the lifesteal with that Cutlass as well. There's a Blade of the Ruined King to go with it, so that makes two Blade of the Ruined King so far.
You kind of build your own tank killer, really. Last Whisper and Blade of the Ruined King, max health-based damages as well as a ton of armor penetration. Renekton really just can't afford to get any sort of extended trade or fight because he's going to lose health so quickly as Crowstorm does move in there. Beautiful P there onto D6, DG4 is going to get himself killed there. So really nice moves there from Demonka. Very creative with that Fiddle, and once again, once you get levels, that fear just lasts for so long. Red buff there on Nixar, not quite able to chase off, unfortunately, and the Red are just going to try and push out this mid if they can get some more damage down.
Really did look like Lucian was not done with it at all, but just could not catch up to that point. And I mean, if you go too far, you extend a little bit too much. 1-on-3, they just turn right back around and slap you silly sometimes. So right now, that was not the tower. That was, in fact, the kill for the Crowstorm. So Demonko, big plays right there, but that means that also Crowstorm is now down. So this next team fight is going to be minus at least 1 ult.
Yeah, I mean, Double AD is great at pushing, but the issue with the Reds comp here is that they don't have a good siege marksman. Caitlyn on the other side, absolutely perfect when it comes to sieging, but if they can ever get on top of a turret in, say, a 5v4, or if they just get a whole bunch of kills, they can really quickly push down turrets here. We saw Fiddle before, they're happy to try and make plays here and maybe set something up here. That tower's going to fall very quickly there as well. Another Volt is going to move in on a PSK, a ton of damage there. As Oriana is going to catch him, but Tidal is going to look for the disengage now as Fomco's forced to run away in the back there. 64 really diving in there as Nixar flashes over the wall, pops the culling in there as well. 13, very, very low there as Fomco around the back trying to assassinate Boss there on Quinn as he bird bombs out of the way there. Combic diving in as well. Does manage to flash out of the way there. Now Renekton very, very dead. He gets executed there by Skystrike. And just really, really tight play here from Red. They're playing so well and coordinating really nicely as a team.
Fomco, another kill. Just another nail in the coffin, it feels like here for Flashdive. I mean, 22-13. We were a grand ahead here for Red, but they've extended that now up to 8,000 gold. And with these inner turrets starting to fall and the inhibitors, it's pretty much a ticking time bomb at this point. I mean, you have limited time to come back from this before the Russians are going to take you.
Yeah, I mean, you saw before, 13 was trying to defend the tier 2 turret just under it, and Fomco just vaulted on top of him and did so much damage, and it really is a tank killer here, which is so good against champions like Jarvan and like Renekton, who are trying to be in the front line and just be annoying. And as you mentioned, that inhibitor being down now, Baron is definitely very much on the table here for Russia. Now as the Red maybe look to that next. And you can see the gold lead before was pretty even, maybe 1 to 2k between the two.
Yep.
We're well and truly about 6, 7, 8k now.
Yeah, it's definitely ballooned quite a bit, but that's what happens when you're 7, 8, 9 kills ahead. 5 towers to 1 is now the inhibitor. Dragons are actually the only things that are actually even between them, but in terms of the farm as well, who knows? Let's see if G64 can actually make something here. He knows that the Sky Strike and Bird Form is down, but just cannot catch up to that speed.
I mean, Quinn has been very good in duels here. I don't think 64 really wanted to do that, actually. I mean, for all his killing power 1v1 as Zed.
Yeah, they have the death mark up. So ult versus no ult, and if you can, he has done some really great dodges with that so far. I mean, he's already evaded Oriana more than once. He's made some really good kills, but it almost feels like he's also starting to drop off now. I mean, he's sitting at 4-7-1, and even his creeps are starting to drop a little bit. 168. I mean, he is veritably almost behind as one of the only solo laners. In fact, he does have the lowest creeps for all the solo laners.
I mean, Flashdive, unfortunately, is kind of running out of places on the map to farm here. There's been so much aggressive movement towards the towers here for the Red. They really just had to group and counterplay there. And nice call on Yomu's Ghostblade, by the way. That's a kind of a really cute item on Quinn. Not only do you get just kind of the general advantages it has, but the proc will actually work when you're in bird form. So you'll be able to really chase people down.
Yeah, it's all about the movement speed, her escape ability, and her survivability. And because she has not died as much as her counterpart, I mean, she's 8-4, Renekton right now 4-8. I mean, Renekton, great dueler if you can stay on top of your opponent, but Vaults, Bird Forms, now the Yomu's on top of it. It's a lot of maneuverability, and that seems to be the overall theme, I would say, here from the Red. I mean, you got the displacement from Demonko plus the Fears. You got the Vaults and the Sky Strikes coming out from Fonko, and Shyvana. the Dragon form, the Dragon Descent. I mean, you have a lot of jumps and gap closers available to them, and they've been using it to take home a lot of kills and winning a lot of these fights.
Yeah, I mean, they really have. They've just spaced themselves so well in so many different situations when it comes to fights here. I mean, early on in some of the skirmishes, they're looking maybe a little shaky at points. Demode, sorry, missed a couple of Orianna ultimates, but just in general, when they've been grouping, they've kited so well. And when you have double AD, kiting is really, really good because you're going to do so much damage if the team fights go longer and longer.
We're going to take a guess and say that's Team Red right there.
I think that's correct.
Yep. They don't look so happy right now, so it does look like technical difficulties. Thanks, Raj, our head ref right there, just getting in the way of the camera. But it looks like we are going to be taking a quick break here. Off to the left there is another one of our head refs. The guy is kind of off to the side in the orange. Orange is the color here for WCG. Anybody you see in an orange T-shirt is clearly one of the refs. They all got their ref jackets as well. And it's very fun time. The refs are cool guys to hang out with.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of stories about them, actually. They seem like a lot of fun. It seems like every year they get together. You know, they do a good job here. It
felt like a class reunion.
Yes, very much so.
Just like, hey, it's been 10 years. But, yeah, a lot of these guys just go back and forth every year. A lot of repeat refs here. So, either way, right now we're looking at a potential win for the Red. The Russians are up extremely far. We got a lot of kills on some of these, on our top lane, Quinn, who's just been playing phenomenal. We got all the push going. And I think we were actually starting up a Dragon before that pause actually went down. But so far it's 1-1 there. But still 9,000 gold difference between these teams. That's almost a surefire win.
I mean, it's actually 2-1 in Dragons to Flashdive. So they mentioned
they actually done 3?
Yeah, they did get a Dragon just before that. That's instead of going for the kill on Quinn, Zed actually moved back with his team and got Dragon. So that's the case now. So we are back now.
So they just did it before the pause.
Yeah,
awesome.
just before.
What would I do without your face, G?
I don't know. Fomco now going to take out the bottom turret as the T2 goes down 6-1 now in that one. And of course, Baron is pretty much on the menu at any point here for the Red. It's the time in the game where Baron is very much a possibility because of course he's just so chunky and hard to kill that you really don't want to do it too early.
You're right about that, Zed not wanting to duel that Fomco.
Just afraid?
Yeah, he just definitely seems afraid. I mean, he immediately went for the creeps, even though she was like prime game right there. But nope, didn't want to deal with it. And again, another pause coming our way. So. Yep. We're not going to figure out what's going on here, ladies and gentlemen, but you can see the potential of the Siege. You said they don't have like really big Siege characters, but when you have that kind of an advantage, it almost feels like they could just dive under the tower and show Flashdive what it means to dive.
Yes, which would be quite funny, wouldn't it? And I mean, I think that probably happened here. Crowstorm moving in, Orianna on top of either Shyvana or Fiddlesticks is kind of funky. And when team fights start, so much damage, just so much damage between
the ball delivery system.
Yes, you need. That is the thing. Whenever you play Orianna, you need a way to deliver the ball, and they've got 2 pretty good ways there as well between Fiddle and Shiv.
And there we go. That's MiTH Flashdive. Yep. Rip raring to go.
Yeah, unfortunately, they look a little less jovial than the Russians who we saw on camera earlier. I guess understandably they are behind in this game here. Still some room to maneuver most certainly here. I mean, a Baron stall at any point in a game definitely can turn things around.
Well, that Baron buff, sometimes you just got to go for it. I mean, the consequences be damned. You just sometimes need a desperation Baron. But we have seen a lot in the past as well. You know, overconfident teams go for the Baron, and then all of a sudden the tables are turned on them.
And of course, the other thing as well is that we don't know too much about these teams. Certainly, to get here, they would have had to play pretty good League of Legends. So we're assuming they've played at least a couple times before.
Well, the only country here with 2 seeds, I do believe, is China.
That's correct.
Which means that these guys are literally the top of their country when it came to that kind of competition. So I will say, Fomco has been playing amazing.
Yeah, I mean, he clearly knows his way around Quinn. You don't insta-lock a champion like that as your first pick unless you really, really want it for some reason or have a plan here. And Fomco clearly knows what he's doing in terms of Quinn. So we'll see what else we can get done here. Again, game looking good here for the Red Heroes. The Russians in a strong position coming in this one, but anything can still happen here. But I guess the thing I wanted to say was one of the issues that comes up with newer teams is closing games properly.
Right.
And given where we're at, and given that, as you mentioned, it's basically the best teams from their country managed to make it here to this tournament. Yep. I don't think that's going to happen, but if they don't close the game too quickly, Flashdive can start catching up, and team fights all of a sudden get a lot closer.
It happens to almost every team out there.
Yep.
I mean, at one point they had such an advantage, and then sometimes they just blow it. They don't know how to end it. I mean, so yeah, we might say that these guys are the best of their teams, but we've seen it in global leagues. We've seen it in LCS. We've seen these massive comebacks from 10, 20, 30,000 gold under.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna write Flashdive off quite yet.
Absolutely not.
But with the current siege at their front door and the current aggression that we've been seeing from the Red, if we keep going with that theme, it's really hard to root for the Flashdive.
I mean, one of the things that the Reds seem to be doing with their Quinn in particular is that, as you notice, nobody really wants to fight her right now.
No, one-on-one. I mean, Zed had a perfect opportunity in that bottom lane with all those creeps. They were busy on the tower. He had the perfect opportunity to start landing some damage on her. Didn't take it.
And if you're in a position where you can outduel anyone on the enemy team, that is the perfect time to start split pushing. And we saw that already. Quinn, as soon as we got back into the game, for this pause, was down the bottom lane, pushing down towers, trying to push the waves in. And mid inhibitor's already pushing in, going to try and create more space for a team. They can comfortably 4v4, and if they ever force a 4v3, and they move 2 people up towards the lane she's split pushing, going to be really tricky for Flashdive to win. So they need to do something right now, but otherwise they're going to get all their inhibs pushed down, and it's really difficult to win when that happens.
Well, they got some really good tank ability with the Renekton, with the Jarvan, so they can get in there and duke it out with the best of them. It's really just trying to protect their back line. I mean, Caitlyn has been throwing out aces pretty much every cooldown, which, you know, in a team fight, it's really hard to kind of just sit down in a spot, especially with the Orianna ball delivery system. I mean, that's a big danger to interrupt that ace, not only trigger the cooldown, but not do the damage. So throwing it out, like, in this regard is a really good idea, but after that, I mean, she almost is a no factor in some of these fights, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to remember her items off the top of my head. I think it's just a Bloodthirster, maybe a Zeal.
Bloodthirster and Zeal for sure. I'm not entirely too sure if she actually finished that up into anything, but for example, Lucian had the Bloodthirster as well as the Static Shiv. But he's had it for what seems like a few minutes now, whereas I'm not entirely too sure if Caitlyn's trying to, you know, save up for anything else, just leave the Zeal, go for more penetration, or if she just does not have the cash.
I mean, at this point, with the gold lead being the way it is, you have to think that everyone on Flashdive's a little poor, unfortunately. So we'll see what happens here. Quinn, I mean, it's funny that you mentioned kind of divers, right? You know, Fiddlesticks likely wants to be towards his carry and peeling for Lucian.
Yep.
Shyvana's obviously going to dive in. That's her job. But Fomka's actually been diving quite aggressively with Quinn just bolting on top of carries. And if anything ever goes wrong, just switch out of bird form and kite the rest of the team away. And we've seen all the displacement, all the control that the Red have when they've been team fighting. She can actually afford to dive on a pretty squishy champion like Quinn and kind of get away with being an assassin.
Well, that's exactly why Quinn has all that movement speed to her name with the Yomu's Ghostblade. I mean, I did some Dominion a few weeks ago, and Yomu's Ghostblade is a fantastic item there. And I saw the Quinn here, and I saw that, you know, she had all the items leading up. Just like, man, that's probably not going to be a Black Cleaver. I'm going to say it anyways, because that's what usually people think of. But if you keep your mind open to a lot of the lesser used items, you can really find some interesting synergies. And I mean, Fomco's been just doing really great with it. But when it came to the laning phase, Fomco was very much on the defensive. It was always Renekton and Jarvan just trying to jump and jump and jump. And she usually survived through a lot of these. I mean, early on, I think she actually did drop to the first lane kill for Flashdive, because they did start off the game 3-0. Wasn't exactly the best in terms of level ones, but as soon as she started getting some of that penetration and she was able to survive those ganks, it just really turned around for her.
Yeah, I mean, Jarvan, 13's pressure from Jarvan has been fantastic all game long, but kind of when the laning phase stopped and people started roaming together, that impact just really wasn't felt anymore. And yeah, you're right, Quinn just was able to get more and more farm here, and clearly things are going well for the Red as they are quite comfortably ahead here in this game.
Comfortably ahead is a good way to put it. About $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 gold between them. So that is one of our head refs. Got to meet him. He's a fantastic guy. Speaks really good English as well. I mean, that really helped me out coming here to Kunshan, especially since it's a little scary to go outside without a tour guide.
Yes.
But he is smiling, and the players seem to be, they don't look terrible. So I'm hoping that our technical difficulties
don't look
are going to
like
come to
they're
an
playing, but that's okay too. I'm sure they'll be back.
Yeah, we got smiles, we got laughs, so hopefully we will be back into the game.
Of course, they're winning. Why wouldn't they be smiling?
Well,
couple over to the Tide team, they're going to be unhappy.
I'm not entirely too sure in terms of the rule set. Like, if we have to cancel out the game, what happens? Do they take the win? Do we have a rematch? Because as it is, I mean, we were supposed to start many hours ago, and this is unfortunately just our first game now, and our schedule has just kind of gone all to hell.
Yeah, I mean, the guy on the screen right there on the left, that's his job.
Yep.
He gets to deal with that. That's what he gets for being a referee.
I put my trust in our refs. Dependable set of guys.
It's like Alex Hitch's doppelganger has walked on screen. Clearly, he's
no Alex Hitch here, sir.
No, not at all. But you know.
But a doppelganger. I like the way you put that.
That could be their manager, I think, potentially, maybe translating.
So what I'm a little concerned with is, we are about 3 minutes behind, I believe, in terms of. So if they're not playing yet, and that's live video.
I don't think they're actually. I don't think there's any delay on the tournament.
Yeah, as I said, that's like we're on tournament realm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we're on 3.13, so it's probably not even any delay, which is great. So We don't have another 3 minutes to wait. We hopefully will get back into this just momentarily.
When the players start playing, we will get back into the game very, very soon.
Now, I was refreshing myself on some of the patch notes because preseason kind of threw everything upside down.
Yes, it did.
But there were Zed nerfs, and you touched upon this back at the picks and bans. And looking at his performance here, I mean, against Orianna early on, he was able to trade out a lot of kills, but now his death counter is kind of getting bigger and bigger, and he's not able to really assassinate anyone. He doesn't seem to go for those squishier targets, or even if he does, gets outrun by Fomco. So, I mean, that really does have a lot of consequence on the play here.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting the way 64 played. He just played so aggressively on Zed. He basically dived at every opportunity. I mean, he's definitely putting his team name to the test there by diving constantly. Did manage to trade there, but when you're trading against someone like Orianna, you're not getting further and further ahead. You're just kind of staying even. And Orianna's such a good team fight champion that if you're not ahead on Zed and really split pushing and farming a lot, or assassinating people and getting kills, then you're not really doing the job your team needs you to be doing. And if you don't have damage as a Zed, you have absolutely nothing left. Whereas, of course, if you're Orianna, you can have 0 items and your ult still does something potentially.
Well, assassins that don't burst are pretty terrible assassins.
Yes, correct. Assassins that don't very quickly kill their targets. I
mean, I remember the rise back at the beginning of Season 3 with the Black Cleaver and all those physical ADs really coming back. Pantheon top, Talon mid, the rise of Zed as well. I mean, it was really interesting stuff. And there we go. We're back in. So welcome back, guys. Our pauses are hopefully that'll be the last of them. But the red on the blue and Flashdive there on the red. And as you can see, the siege is in full swing.
Yeah, I mean, Inhibitor's pushing down here as well. The red don't want to potentially run away into a risky Baron. The top mid wave's pushing now as well, as they're going to rotate from the mid towards the top. Quinn still sticking down the bottom there, and split pushing away in the red. Really playing this exactly the way they want to be here. Just comfortably using their Quinn to split push away and pressuring the other lanes in there as well, with the mid inhib already helping them push with super creep. So very, very academic.
Yeah, they know that the Quinn is basically invincible at this point. I mean, between the Yomus and the Sky Strike, like Zed is down there trying to deal with it, but he is just not getting the best of that trade.
Yeah, nice.
Not even.
I mean, a nice deathmark dodge to his credit, but absolutely nothing he can do here in the lifesteal. Lifesteal here from Quinn as well, going to be a big deal here.
Ace in the hole.
Yeah, it happens.
As I said, every cooldown, if you have that as a Caitlyn, it's going to be very hard in the dead heat of battle to stand still for 2 seconds to get that cast off. So just throwing out like that, trying to just keep him down. The problem is, throw it on Fomco, who has a ton of lifesteal during it.
Yes, and that throws them over the top in there as well. Orianna trying to deliver that ball on top of the Fiddlesticks here as Jarvan's going to move in towards the back. Combic over to the top there. Picks up the kill on the Buster as Jarvan's going to go down now as well. Fiddlesticks also slant in and amongst it as Fomco's in a lot of trouble now. Does pop the bird bomb though, Renekton. Just cannot catch her at all there. The top turret's going to go down towards the inhibitor. Lots and lots of damage going to be done here as the Thailand base is going to be completely ravaged here by the Russians. And looks like they're just going to go straight for the win here. Could be for our first game of the day here on stream. A win coming out for the red here and playing really, really nice League of Legends here. And
oh, that culling, man. That culling doing massive damage. It was a great turnaround there. I mean, Renekton was able to pick up something, but that's going to be the ace. And double kill comes out from Lucian. He's going to end off this game 5-1-12. 17 of those 28 kills. He's been there, but it was basically as soon as Combic flashed from one tower to the other in order to kill, it's like, yeah, they're going all in. They're going for this kill. Creeps are going to finish off those inhibitors as well. And that means our first game of the WCG 2013 in Kunshan, China is going to go the way of the red.
And it looked as a